All right. Well, welcome back to session 14 of the Post-Frame 360 podcast. I am one of your hosts, Scott Cragg, along with my co-host, Josh Nowlin. Josh, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Scott. I hope you like my new studio here.
Man, that is rocking. And you know what, guys? For those of you who are watching online, we both are in new studios. Josh has his nice Post-Frame 360 backdrop. For me, you get to see a carpeted wall and a wood grain ceiling. But at least this allows me to have some privacy because you know what? We do these podcasts from work and a lot of business going on outside. So sometimes we get interrupted. If you listen to a couple of podcasts ago, you kind of heard me say, hey, we're podcasting. So yeah, just find a little bit of a place for some privacy here. So, well, guys, today we are going to kind of maybe dive in a little deeper from what we talked about on our last podcast when we were talking about scheduling your work and work ready. And we teased a little bit, maybe a little further than a tease on talking about the Quick Ship program. So what we thought we would do today is we would just dive a little bit deeper into how that's going to work, some of the details, some things you need to know if you're a Smart Build user. We want you to completely understand this program to not get caught off guard, because we feel like this is going to be an amazing way for you to really leverage coming into the last part of the year, the last half of the year, thinking about weather, thinking about hopefully we're seeing some really, really good signs. We'll be sharing some stuff with you guys here before too long. Some things we were made aware of out of the big, beautiful bill that could, significantly help you in your business. So we're just going to dive a little bit more into the Quick Ship program. And, I hope you found this valuable because that's the intent here. So Josh, take it away.
Just to get going here, you had mentioned the big, beautiful bill, and we just sent out some email correspondence regarding that. And I want to drop the idea. Maybe next week we do a podcast and center it around that, and then maybe even have a guest speaker. What do you think about that, Scott?
Yeah, that's something that's why there might be a little bit of a delay here in getting something out on the big, beautiful bill, because we have our observations, right? Like we have some things that we think it says. And sorry, you guys see me messing with my tech. Again, this is all live and I kind of hear my ears going out a little bit. So that's why I'm a little fidgety right here and right now. But there's a lot here and we don't want to give you bad advice. We are not accountants. We are not tax advisors. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to bring on an accountant that can come in and speak more professionally and educatedly to this, because based on what we understand, it's going to be really, really valuable to you and to your business and to the customers that you serve. So just stay tuned. We're working on that. We want to bring you valuable information, not just, oh, hey, we think this is what this means.
So yeah, and the information we have sent out so far has been good, and it's been ran through by some people that know more about it than we do. So we just got to get educated on it. And yeah, I think a guest speaker would be the way to go. Yeah. But let's get into Quick Ship. It's really exciting, I think, to have this program going, and the contractors that I've talked to and questioned about the ideas around it, there seems to be a lot of excitement around the idea of having a handful, 5 or 6 buildings that are really super competitive price that our clients can go out and run some marketing campaigns around those buildings. And yeah, I think it's just super exciting. I mean, we're in the thick of rollout. So by the time you're hearing this, you should have already received some email correspondence from us, and maybe even checked out a brochure, some sales pieces, things of that nature. So
yeah. So here's what we're going to do. So there are some intricacies to this program that we want to make sure you understand. So if you're a Smart Build user, there's going to be templates. So we've created templates around, I'm trying to draw from my memory, Josh. Is it 6 models?
It's 5. It's 5
models.
And we've got them all started up in Smart Build. You should see them on your home screen if you're a Smart Build user, and under your starting models, there'll be 2 folders. One folder says Quick Ship 29. One says Quick Ship 26. The difference is the gauge of the steel.
Right.
So, we wanted to give our clients at least the option to choose what gauge of steel that they want. So if you're quoting a 26 gauge, open those starting models. 29, open those.
Yes.
Select the size in which you're interested in, and when that populates, it's going to open up, and it's going to be the base building. Okay, that base building, the price you see on Smart Build should be reflective of that.
Right.
Uh,
And I'm going to
very,
interrupt
very
there.
close.
Yeah. So here's the first thing that you have to know. When you open up one of those templates, and Josh just said you're going to see the price up in the top. That is your base, and that price, even if you see when you see the rendering, you might see a door and a couple of windows and an overhead door. That price does not include the window and the walk door. Okay,
It
if
doesn't.
if we
Right.
if we just had you open that up and it's just a box, you're gonna be like, what the heck's going on, right?
Actually,
So
Scott, it is. I just wanted to be clear on that. So, I'm glad you brought that up, because when you open it up, it is just the box. So it's going to be, when you see the brochure, the brochure has maybe an entry door and a couple windows and some garage door openings, for marketing purposes, because you can't take a plain box out to the market and say, oh, check this out. People can't visualize what size is that, so when you throw 2 garage door openings on it, you can market that as a 2-car garage. It's more marketable. But our customers that we surveyed when we started putting together this program, they said, hey, we need the flexibility. We can't have you tying us down to, you have to do this kind of walk door, or this size of window, or this type of window, or this size of garage door. So, when we put it all together, easiest just to promote, come up with a really good price on the base building, and then they can add whatever stock options, stock windows and doors they want to it, Scott.
okay. Yeah. So that's really good to know. So when you open up those base template models, that's that price. Now there's a significant discount that goes along with this quick ship program, right? And the thing about the quick ship, one of the reasons why we call it that is these are going to be these templated models, and we've got everything for the most part ready to go, right? This allows us to pre-plan the proper trusses and everything for you so that we can get these out the door quickly. These are really meant to be not only fillers, so if you have a job and you need a quick filler, we can fill something in, but plan this around the rest of the year, even maybe into next year. These are easy jobs, quick jobs, and it's really, really important that you present this well to your prospective customer. You don't want to make a lot of customizations to these. It defeats the whole purpose, right? These are meant to be quick jobs. If you've got an experienced crew, depending on the size of the building, these are like 2, 3, 4, 5 day jobs. So if you know you've got it, we can have it to the job site in, 3 days, 4 days. This gives you more flexibility in how you build and how you build out your schedule and how you remain profitable. So when you open that design up, you're going to have your base price. That price is set. Now, when you go in and add a door or you add windows or whatever additions you make, and the additions are limited. Okay, so just know this. The additions are limited. You're not going to put on wainscot. You're not going to go add a porch. You're defeating the purpose of the quick ship program, right?
Yeah.
And so when you do that, if you have a volume discount as a contractor, your volume discount will apply to the features that you add, but you are not going to get your contractor volume discount on top of what's already discounted on the base model. Okay. So if, let's say, I'm throwing this out there, let's say you have, I'm going to say 10% just because I'm from Muskogee. Let's keep the math simple, right? You got a 10% discount. So you go out a window into the base model, it's going to plug that window in at a 10% discount, your volume discount that you get. Okay. Just so our listeners know, I said 10% is just a model to make the math easy. All right.
Yes, don't get hung up on that. It's
Don't get
simple
hung up
math.
on that, right? I'm trying
It's
to make a point
Muskogee
here.
math.
Yeah. I'm just trying to make a point here. So just know that as you go in and add features, those are going to be at whatever the regular price would be in your smart build. So I don't want to get in the weeds here, Josh, but what do you think?
Well, you're right, but I probably wouldn't. I should mention that Smart Build's unique to each user. So you'd mentioned that we have clients that, have a volume discount, and regardless of what that is, some of our users choose to have that plugged into Smart Build so that their pricing is pretty reflective of what our billing pricing would be. And then there are others that don't put their volume discount in their Smart Build, and they want to put that in their back end, their back pocket,
Hmm.
at invoice. So, it's really gonna be a case by case basis based on your customizations. Just know this: it's tough to wrap it all together, but the advertised price is what you're going to pay for the base building. Okay,
Yes.
if you're a Burrow's account and you're buying the quick ship build, you're going to pay for the base build what we're advertising. What you're actually going to pay for the doors, windows, and thermogard is the price you'd normally pay for it. Okay,
Hmm.
so
Hmm.
simple as that, I think.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I appreciate that. So again, we're not trying to get in the weeds. We're not trying to make this difficult. What I just don't want to happen is I don't want, whenever you receive your marketing piece that shows the building and it shows an overhead door opening and and it has a price out there. What I want to be very, very clear on is if you use that marketing piece and we're going to make that available to you, you can brand it to yourself if you want. It's got those base prices. That base price is not that exact image you see. And there's fine print on the brochure. It's not fine print because we're trying to, hide anything. It's just there's a lot of stuff happening on that brochure, right? And so we had to get some stuff down there. So that's something else I want you to do is read that. And it's not like super tiny, right? We were like, you got to be able to read this. We're not trying to
Hmm.
hide stuff, but go read that. You need to understand the dynamics of the program because you don't want to put yourself in a position with your customer where something was misunderstood. And that's the point of this podcast, right? We just don't want anything to be misunderstood. We're on the up and up. We're trying to create a program that's easy for you to be able to go out and present to your customers to grow your business and to get jobs in there that you can build quickly that are simple, and that's the idea here. Keep this in your mind. This is a simple build. Your customers who are just looking for a simple shop, okay? This is not a barn door. It's a simple shop in our most common sizes that we see being built. Keep
One thing
this
I want to
simple.
throw at you when we're talking about the pricing and marketing, our clients marketing to their customers, we're going to provide you a second copy of the brochure. And over where our brochure is showing you the price of that building,
Hmm.
we're going to give you a blank box there. Okay. So
Hmm.
Scott mentioned you can edit that and brand it to whatever you want. Like if it was my company, I might say, well, I'm actually going to add the price of that entry door and two windows and two garage door openings that's shown in
Sure.
the picture. I'm going to
Yeah.
actually add that into my price, mark it up a little bit. So if they decide, oh, I want a 9 light walk door instead of a solid walk door, I'm
Hmm.
covered. It's like, whatever the difference is, and you can make that decision on your own.
Right.
You can write your price in on that brochure, or if you're a bigger company, you've got a couple sales guys working for you as the owner of the business, write in the price you want them to sell it for and give them the brochure, let them go
Yeah.
sell it. So,
Yeah. 100%. And here's what I would encourage you to do, something that Josh just said there, which kind of made me go, "Oh, we should talk about this." Depending on the size of the company, and if it's just you, the business owner, and you're also doing the sales, and maybe you're out there doing some of the build, or if you're a larger company where, you've got capacity here. We've spent about 2 weeks now working on this program. There's a lot of moving pieces to it, right? So what I'm going to encourage you to do as our listeners is once you get this email from us, once you get the marketing pieces, sit down. If it's just you, sit down and plan your strategy. How are you going to use this? When are you going to roll it out to your customers? What are you going to sell it for? Are there any specific things that you need to clarify with your customer that are specific to the way you do business and the way you build? This is called creating a marketing plan. Okay. Once we give you these materials, create a marketing plan for your business, your customers, your crew, your employees. Take time to have that meeting, right? Don't just run out there and go, "Hey, I'm gonna throw this out there," and then get caught off guard, and then you're like, "Well, this program sucks." Like, don't do that. Utilize the program, and if you have any questions, man, we're here to help, right? Our customer service team is here to help. I'm here to help. Josh is here to help. Send us an email, pick up the phone, give us a call. If you like what we're saying here, and maybe we've said something, you're like, "Man, I don't really understand what's going on," or "Hey, can you do this?" Rather than guess at it and throw it out there and see what sticks, give us a call, right? Let's help you make sure that this program is successful for you because we've done a lot of planning to try to make sure that we've covered all of our bases to make sure it's successful for us.
Yeah.
Does that make sense, Josh?
Yeah, it does. And it's just been we've talked about this in other podcasts, but it's just been such a challenging year.
Hmm.
Been a tough year. Look,
Hmm.
we're trying to figure out a way to make a bump in our business here towards the latter part of the year.
Right.
And we know in order to do that, we have to give you tools to put in your toolbox to go out there and grow your businesses. And
Hmm.
that's what this is all about. And we'd
Right.
love the feedback as we roll the program out. It's never too late to, potentially make an adjustment here and there as needed to the
Sure.
program because we want it to be successful.
Yeah. And Josh, I appreciate that transparency, right? Like you said, it's been a rough year. We're all in the same boat. And so, with that transparency, yeah, we're doing a significant discount, not because we've just been charging exorbitant prices, but we're behind, right? We're behind this year. I'm sure many of you listening, you're behind this year. You're not where you were last year. You're not hitting your projections. So what do, right? You can hold the line and hold the price and say, well, I'm just going to be stubborn. Or you do what we're doing. Maybe you have to drop your prices and make it up on volume, right? So,
Mhm.
yeah, Josh, man, I appreciate that vulnerability. You've got to do something to make up lost ground. And so that's what we're doing in this program. And hopefully it helps you do the same thing. Maybe you have to reduce some of your profit on that job. But guess what? If you don't do something, you don't get that job. So maybe you give up $1,000 per job and you got 3 jobs and you're like, "Man, well, that's $3,000 I lost." Well, guess what? Maybe this program helps you get those 3 jobs that otherwise you might have just got 1. And it's the same thing for us, right? We may not have been selling you a package if we don't do something to make up for lost time. So, Josh, I really appreciate that. And something else I'll add on is, we talked about some of the aspects of the big, beautiful bill. We're anxious to talk about that. There's another thing that I heard in the news, which is it looks like there may be some changes at the Fed. This isn't to get into a political conversation. I don't care. But what I do care about is our business, your business as our listeners and the economy. And it looks like the Fed has been a little stubborn on interest rates. Looks like that might change here very soon. So we do have this pent up demand. We've talked about this. People want to build, but people didn't know what to do. Like, is the stock market going to crash? Like, am I still going to have retirement? What's going to happen to my money? And money is not cheap right now. Money's expensive. So it's been this perfect storm of set and wait and watch. So
Mhm.
if there's some benefits to the big beautiful beautiful bill that allows people to buy and encourages them to spend their money, if we can lower interest rates, which it looks like it's going to happen, if we can work together to be competitive on pricing and do what we do best, which is quality work with integrity, giving the best value we can to our customers. That's us to you and you to yours. This is going to change. Okay. I'm not trying to be, ha ha ha. Like, if I didn't believe this, I wouldn't say it.
Mhm.
The tide is going to turn. And remember this right now, because I think when the tide turns, we're all going to be going, oh my gosh, I am buried. It's a good place to be, but we have to continue to get by. So I think it may last through the end of the year. I hope it doesn't, but it may last through the end of the year. So what are we going to do to pick up what we've lost this far? We're almost halfway through August. That's nuts. So how are we going to pick up lost ground? This is what we're doing for you.
The quick ship program, yep, is definitely. I don't see any reason why it wouldn't help every single one of our customers.
Yes.
So, and if you
Yes.
want any help, with how to market it, just want to brainstorm some ideas, give me a call, give Scott a call.
Yes.
Your sales rep, they're all geared up and ready to talk.
Yeah.
Um,
100%. 100%. Yeah. So, guys, we're going to end it there. And so, thank you for joining us. And one of the things I would ask you is, I would like to do an episode of a we answer your questions. So, please email me some questions if you've been listening to the podcast and there's things that we've said or things that you would like us to clarify on, or anything at all. Like, Josh has been a builder. I've been a builder. I know marketing. Josh is got a wealth of knowledge in the post frame space. He's been here a whole lot longer than I have. We would love to do a Q&A podcast. So I'm going to invite you now. Email me, scottc@burrows-supply.com, and start sending us your questions. I'd love to have a 20-minute conversation where we answer your questions. And if we need to go to a 2-part podcast, that's great. But, we are developing topics that we feel are relevant to you. In looking back, our most listened to podcast has been the Bling Baker Bust series that we did. That's great, right? We know what's resonating with you. But to help us dive even deeper and dial this podcast in, please send us questions. Tell us what's on your mind. We would love to have 1 or 2 or make it a regular occurrence where we can have basically a Q&A where we want to answer your questions to help you be more successful and honestly happier, more satisfied in your chosen career path. So with that, Josh, any last remarks?
No. Thank you very much for listening to our podcast, and always looking forward to this. It's my favorite day of the week. I love recording podcasts.
It is fun. Yeah, it is fun. So thank you guys. We appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next episode of Post Frame 360.